I'm going to do a demonstration this morning on wrapping the bristle onto the waxed end. I'm going to start out with preparing my bristle. The bristle that I use is actually 20-pound fishing line. My bristles are 10 inches long. I realize that's long, but I like having just a little extra. In case I crimp one end or something happens, then I can trim a little off without getting down to 2 inches of bristle, and then it's really hard to hold on to. The first thing I'm going to do here is take a piece of sandpaper. It's about 100 grit. I don't want it too gritty, but I don't want it too fine either. And I'm going to rough up the last 2 inches of the fishing line. This is hand wax. It's a sticky mixture of rosin and pine tar. If you'll go to the Honorable Cordwainers Company discussion page, you can find all sorts of recipes for this if you want to make it yourself. That's thehcc.org. And Panhandle Leather in Amarillo, Texas, also, they make hand wax for sale. I buy it through them sometimes. Okay, now what I have here is a taper. It's a piece of thread that comes to a taper at the end. You can make these yourself from small cords, but I buy my tapers pre-made from Main Thread, and that's mainthread.com. I've already waxed my taper, so I've waxed the whole thread, and now I'm just going to concentrate on the very end. I'm going to wax it better and then start attaching the bristle to the taper. I just have the cord wrapped around a little bolt on my 5-in-1, but you can wrap it around anything. If you don't happen to have a 5-in-1, yes, you can still make wax ends. Alright, now I have my bristle and my waxed thread, and I'm going to start attaching them. I'm crossing the thread with the bristle at 2 inches up, right where I started sanding the bristle and waxing it, and I'm crossing it with the thread at about the place where the thread is the same thickness as the bristle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start wrapping the end of the taper down towards the waxed end of the bristle. Sometimes when you get a really long hairy taper, it ends up being longer than your bristle, so you can just trim it off a little. Now the secret to this is holding the taper tight at all times. You do not want any slack in the thread. That's the reason I have it wrapped around a screw, so that I can hold it taut. And now I'm just going to begin rolling it back over itself. I want each roll to be right next to the last one, not on top of the last one, because this joint needs to be very, very smooth. I want this right here, where the thread attaches to the bristle, to be smooth and seamless and not feel a big bump there. Now as I wrap and the thread gets thicker, I'm going to turn. So now I'm wrapping at an angle rather than having my thread perpendicular with my bristle. I've kind of got an angle going on here. That keeps me from wrapping too much thread around the bristle, because that will make knots also. And now that I've got about 1/2 inch sticking out here, I have the bristle pulled down to where it's sticking out from the taper at a right angle, so I can see exactly where I stopped wrapping it. And just above there, where the bristle and the taper are no longer meeting, I'm going to separate a hole in the cord and pull it through. This is what knots it off so it doesn't come unwrapped while you're trying to sew. Again, I'm going to pull it straight out, go up about 1/8 of an inch, separate another hole. As I put it through that hole, I feed it through with my thumb and forefinger, and I immediately take my thumb and forefinger and grip the thread. So that way when I pull it through, I can feel the little pop as it goes all the way through, and I'm not just yanking on it. As soon as I feel the pop of it go through the cord completely, I stop pulling. And you want to end up doing this process about 4 to 6 times until you've completely lost that end of your bristle. The taper is made up of different small cords. So if you don't turn your thread, you'll end up going right between the same cords every single time, and then you'll just unknot yourself. So you always want to go between different cords as you continue this process. See, now I can't find that in an end anymore. There we go. I've created a smooth waxed in so the taper joins seamlessly with the bristle. There's no bump, it's just a seamless join. That way when I start inseaming, I shouldn't have problems with yanking my bristle off my taper. Or at least if I do, it won't be because there's a knot. As you can see, I'm driving. Morgan and I are on our way to Sheridan, Wyoming to a leather show. Cars, wow, ooh, much road trip. We're just leaving Guthrie.
The road's so far. Dun, 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 dun.
Somewhere in Kansas, there's a gray-haired old man who sleeps on the park bench and drinks the red wine. Well, we are somewhere in Kansas. We are not drinking red wine or sleeping on park benches, but we just passed Hayes. Hayes' official slogan is small town charm, big time fun. From my perspective, I think Hayes' slogan should be halfway to Denver.
They have snow. It's May and they just have snow.
We stayed last night in Douglas. Morgan's eating her breakfast. We're on the road to Sheridan, and she's going to list all the disappointing things about our hotel.
So, we had a very, very long trip yesterday. And we got into the hotel, and we were trying to get up to our floor so we could collapse on our bed, and the door closed in Mom's face. The guy inside didn't even care. So I went to go check out the pool, which did not have water in it. So we finally got up to our room, and Mom wanted to take a bath.
Because there was no hot tub.
But there was no bathtub in our room, only a walk-in shower. And I forgot all of my hair care products at home, so my hair is not gloriously soft today.
We're traumatized. Last night I went to the fun... Last night I went to the awards dinner and they had an auction, and I won the auction and bought this beautiful leather notebook cover made by Chandgear. At the point where the bidding got slow, the auctioneer, who was from Canada, threw in something extra, which was a bag of potato chips that's only available in Canada. And I saved one for Morgan to try. These are ketchup flavored potato chips. Stop being such a wino and try the potato chip.
The things I do for you, Mother.
I saved one just for you because I love you.
I'm taking one for the entire family.
Yes, try the ketchup potato chips. Smell it first.
It smells exactly like ketchup.
Try one.
Yeah, that's a ketchup potato chip. This is Stan, who donated the ketchup potato chips.
Hi, Stan.
Hi, I just want to say on behalf of my entire country of Canada, it's great to share such a natural resource with our southern border. And maybe next time, second time, we might enjoy it a little more.
I thought you were going to say I'm sorry.